camp started today, day one. Obviously a lot of the conversation is around, obviously the quarterback, but to me, the number one key coming out of camp is health. Like I just think that is the most important thing because losing a critical guy, and I'm not going to say any names just because I don't want to wish that on anybody, but that is my thought and my focus when it comes to Michigan football, because I think overall they have enough talent on offense. I think they have enough talent on defense to, I think, hit all of the goals that they want. Now, those guys aren't ready today to win a national championship or anything like that. Like, you're going to have improvements, but I think you have enough. So it really a focus, and the unfortunate part is there's no way to focus on that. But that's the thing I'm going to look out for the most, is just the health of the team as they get through camp and start to go through the practices and things like that. So but obviously, other than that, it's going to be a lot of people talking about the quarterbacks. I'm sure once the throwing and things like that start to kind of ramp up, I'm sure we'll see reports all the time of, hey, they had a 7-on-7 session and Cade was 10 for 15 and JJ was 12 for 16, or what, different things like that. I'm sure it's going to be kind of scrutinized and kind of going back and forth. So that, I mean, until a starter is named, I mean, I just think that is going to be the talk of coming out of camp.
I have yet to get through too many comments in the live chat, but I always find it funny that people are looking for information and looking for evaluations like after a day or 2 days, and nobody has those evaluations. There's just not enough out there. Even media that go to the practice that get to see the 15 minutes, they've got nothing for you. It's going to take a while to get enough info and video out there to really know what's going on. But yeah, of course, this quarterback situation is front and center. So
it really, I think about, well, Dre, I'll let you go for before I kind of go another take. But essentially, the focus on, for me in my head is going to be coming out of camp healthy. I mentioned that the Michigan team is talented enough to hit all of the goals that they want. Obviously improvements and things like that will have to happen, and you'll need to build on that. But it's really health. Coming out of camp is health, and then we're just going to hear again and again about the quarterback competition. Once they start to really throw and things like that, I would imagine we're going to hear a lot of, well, Cade looked good, and or JJ had a rough day or a rough period, or I feel like that's probably going to be the headlines of training camp for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, that, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but like the main things is health. You want guys stay healthy. I mean, JJ, for example, even though he's probably as of now 1B, I can't imagine he's 1A after last year. He's coming to camp. He's already had arm issues, so you hope that as fully healed and he doesn't have any setbacks once he starts fall camp. Same thing with Cade. But I think another thing is, I'm not worried about offense. Offense will take care of itself. Offense will be really good this year. You have two fantastic running backs. You have a very deep receiver room. You have at the bare minimum good quarterback play. Now, whether it can be great, that remains to be seen based on who's taking over and what kind of offensive expansion they decide to go with this year. But defensively is where the biggest question marks are, because that was the biggest loss in terms of playmakers. How do you replace essentially two first-round talents on the D-line? No, David Ajabo wasn't drafted the first round, but that's only due to an injury, catastrophic injury at that, at his pro day. So, that's not so easy to do. I mean, how do you replace a Daxton Hill? His impact on the secondary, his impact on run support, right? How do you replace the leadership of a Josh Ross? Look, he wasn't the best in pass coverage as a linebacker, but he was pretty good at run support. And so, like, how do you replace that? I mean, that's a kid that was at this program 4 or 5 years. So those are, question marks on the defensive side of the ball. You're not only from a playmaking standpoint, but also leadership, also play calling, because you lost your defensive coordinator, right? So, it's a lot that goes into it. And what you hope at the bare minimum that you do figure out is develop some kind of chemistry and just execution. Playing penalty free football. I think that was like the most consistent thing that um, Des and I recognized week to week last year, was that this team did not beat themselves. And if you can do that, you can minimize turnovers, you can minimize penalties, you give yourself a pretty good shot to win, right? So I think that's like the main thing, two things I want to come out of this camp. Health, and also non-sloppy football, essentially.